Hello. Welcome back to the MJ Gooner podcast right here for the post-match review. Arsenal 3, Southampton 3. What a game. It's a little bit too late, isn't it? Too little, too late. That's pretty much the title of the podcast for today. I took, 2 days off, is it? 2 days off. I could have probably recorded on a Friday or even yesterday, Saturday, but today is a Sunday. I felt like, I'm ready to talk about the game. It takes a big man to have the courage to talk about something like that. And I am the big man right here. Oh, it's just, you know what? Even though it's been 2 days after the game, I still remember vividly of every single moment of the game as well. But honestly, it was just poor in general. I mean, this game has everything written on it, all the narratives written on it as well. To be honest, if you guys are being realistic, I don't think we're going to win the league after all. I'm sure the title race is gone. Yes, we are 5 points clear at the moment, but with City have 2 games in hand, and right now they are cruising in all competition. They beat Sheffield United in the semi-final yesterday in the FA Cup 3-0. And of course, drawing against Bayern Munich over the weekdays. And right now, the next game that they're going to play is against Arsenal. Arsenal is not in a good form at all. The fact that drawing against Liverpool, which I think is a fair result, but could have done better in the second half. And West Ham United, another shambolic performance. And Friday against Southampton was another shambolic performance. Of course, there are positive and also quite a lot of negatives in that game. But let's talk about the build up to the game as well. I mean, this game against Southampton, they're sitting at the bottom of the league. We are at the top, and they recently lost to they're just not in a good form at all. And you thought, okay, after drawing against Liverpool and also West Ham United, we need to we travel back home that day, and we're playing against the bottom of the league. Yes, in the first fixture we didn't win the game, but I felt like this game is quite winnable in a lot of aspects. Southampton certainly going down at the moment, and you thought, everybody thought, this would be a good warm-up game to, before the City game. And, unfortunately, I don't know how the Arsenal players were thinking, but certainly they're not thinking it right. So, it's just, let's dive into it, to be honest. The fact that, during the last 2, we just need to win. And the fact that we didn't win this game killed pretty much everything that we have been working so hard towards. And the fact that when you look back for the past 3 games, including the Southampton game, we dropped a total of 6 points out of 9. And in the end, we only got 3 points out of it. Again, it's not good enough at the moment, right? Because when you are doing the math, if we somehow got 6 points out of it, we will be right now 11 points. We'll be 11 points ahead of City. And of course, with City having 2 games in hand, if they win both those games, we would be 5 points ahead of them. That would be the scenario. When we play against Liverpool, after joining that game, or even before playing against Liverpool, I'm sure a lot of Arsenal fans will be saying, "Hey, we're able to afford to lose to City if we somehow win the remaining of the fixtures." And after the West Ham game, or before the West Ham game, we can think to ourselves, we can afford a draw against City mathematically. And then after drawing against Southampton right now, we can't afford to lose or draw against City, which means right now at the moment, it's a must-win situation. And of course, when you make such a narrative, when you make such a game like that, such intensity, and you have to win against City at the Etihad, It's not ideal. I'm sure a lot of pundits, a lot of neutral fans, they would think, Arsenal is the only team that could be capable to beat Man City at home. Well, in a way, to some extent, I do agree. But when you look at the way how we play against Southampton, against West Ham, Liverpool, just massive drop off after the first 2 goals, especially away. Based on those past 3 results, you just can't beat City. We just didn't deserve the title at all. From what I see from a lot of Arsenal fans as well. And it's just really, really tough, to be honest. We are putting in a situation like this where, we are pretty much going to lose to City, which closing the gap to 2 points with two games in hand for City. But of course, the ideal situation would be City not, losing to Arsenal, which also keep us in the race. And somehow City drop points to Fulham, Brentford, and also Brighton, or even Chelsea at this point. But it's really tough. Again, like I said, if City somehow, win in the Champions League, beats United in the final, and beat us in the title race, then you can arguably say that they are, whatever they're at right now is just the best team in the world. And there was a picture of the game. Well, there's a picture of the game of the City's bench. At one point, you have Gundogan, you have Diaz, Haaland, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva on the bench right there, and you already know that that's only the bench. And somehow they could cruise a 3-0 win, which also put Arsenal in a very tough situation. The fact that this is what we have to deal with on a Wednesday, and I'm not being very optimistic about it. But of course, there's still hope. Of course. I still believe in our team until mathematically we cannot be in the title at all. But certainly I'm not very optimistic about the game on Wednesday. So I'm sure the thing is, I don't want a lot of negativity on this podcast, but I feel like, I'm not gonna record the Man City game unless we win it. Then I will, of course, talk about it as soon as possible. But if we lose it, it's gonna take me a day or two to kind of recover from the emotion that this is pretty much what I'm doing. Is the fact that I am trying my best to recover, whatever happened on Friday, put those raw emotions behind, and kind of, talk about it in a place of, being rational. So this game, not off to a good start already, conceding in the first 30 seconds. You just can't write a better script about that. You just can't. We conceded in the first 16 seconds against Bournemouth. We almost conceded in the first minute against Leeds United. And somehow, Friday, we conceded within 30 seconds against the bottom of the league. You just can't write that off, isn't it? It's just really, really poor from Aaron Ramsdale. And I don't know why he made that pass. But certainly, he probably didn't see Alcaraz. I believe it was Alcaraz who got the ball, scored a goal as well. I'm sure he didn't quite see him. I'm sure Partey might be probably blocking the vision of or the view of Ramsdale, and that's why we conceded the first goal. But that was a very poor decision. I felt like when you have two opposition players pretty much right in front of you, and I know you have Partey in the middle, you have Zinchenko pretty much right behind Partey, and there's no, it was just a very soft pass at all. It was not quite of a, you know, a fast pass at all. But instead, it was kind of a simple kick to Zinchenko. There's no power behind the pass, and that's why Alcaraz can, intercept it with ease and clever finish. And Ramsdale got a hand to it, and 1-0 to Southampton in the 30 seconds. And I thought, it's not the most ideal way to start the game, but we still have 89 minutes and 30 seconds to chase. We are still, we're still good in that sense. And all of a sudden, I think at that moment, the fact that I don't know what he can do in that moment. You can probably boot the ball way up, or you could probably look for Gabriel on the left or Holding on the right and try to, try to do a sideway passes. I thought we could do that, but you know what? If we made a mistake after that, we just can't, right? And Ramsdale was so frustrated at himself. He kind of ripped the shirt in the middle, and Rob Holding, telling him to keep his head up, and we go again. It's fine. Of course, not ideal, not the best way to start the game, but with how our team has been so far this season, I believe there's a comeback and stuff like that. So we conceded the first goal, and then later on, the second goal was another poor one as well. It was losing possession. Saka could probably, even though he was under pressure, I felt like the pass could have been better. And somehow Partey and also Odegaard was kind of scrambling together in the middle. And that led to a missed pass by Odegaard. And there comes a counter-attack for Southampton. Ward-Prowse pretty much giving it back to Alcaraz. And Alcaraz was kind of running down the middle, looking for options to his left, to his right. Rob Holding arguably didn't close him down quicker, but Gabriel just kind of, he just lost Theo Walcott very easily. And Theo, again, I'm sure that will be his second time coming back to the Emirates Stadium, score against us. And I know he is very conflicted with himself, knowing that he's an Arsenal man. Even though he has not been with the club for the past 4 or 5 years, he still loves Arsenal in any way that he still wants Arsenal to win. But at the moment, of course, you have to put their team first. So I'm not particularly too upset about, Theo Walcott scoring against us. The fact that he paid respect to us. He didn't quite celebrate. But the only thing that we can blame is our defense. It was very leaky. It was so easy for Southampton to just kind of find a through ball to Walcott like that. Holding should have done better. Close him down a little bit. Don't give him any options to look for a pass. Gabriel should have done better tracking his men, but a great finish by Theo Walcott. 2-0 down within 10 minutes, and you thought, you know what? I don't think we're going to win this game, isn't it? There is no way we are going to win this game. And we try so hard to make a comeback. And then 18 minutes in, 19 minutes in, Martinelli scoring that one against very quick, a quick play. Zinchenko to Odegaard. Odegaard finds a great pass to Saka on the right hand side. Took Perot, I think that's the left back's name. Took Perot down to the line. Saka whips it in, leaving Martinelli free in the middle. A great volley, buries that one behind the goalkeeper and 2 defenders as well. And we're back in the game 2-1. Again, this is what I like. Certainly, Arsenal has been better over the past years. Is the fact that even though we are down by, a goal or 2, we know we have the tendency to make a comeback or start to have a rally. And this is what we did. I mean, this is what we have been doing all season. Is the fact that even though we're a goal behind, we're not afraid. We go again. We keep pushing. We'll score goals. We can score goals compared to last season. And just like that, the game has been fine. 2-1, and we still have 80 minutes to play. What is it? 80 minutes to play? No, 70 minutes to play to score 2 goals to find a winner. Of course, that's how every Arsenal fans are processing in the mind, in like with that score line. We might be producing with another, Bournemouth against Bournemouth gameplay, but again, with the sake that we're at right now, it's just really really tough, to be honest. But Martinelli, you got to give a hats off to him. I believe he scored his 15th goal of the season. I'm sure right now, across all competition, he is the Brazilian. He is the only Brazilian so far to be the top scorer in all competition. Good for him. And I heard that Firmino held the previous record of the most goals scored by Brazilian in the Premier League, which is 15. Martinelli ties that one. Ties that record so far, and we still have 6 more games to go, and I'm sure Martinelli can break that record. Of course, I'm very proud of him. Again, he had a very good first season for Arsenal, and then he went through a big surgery, big injury to his knee, barely get any playing time for his second season, and also the early part of the last season. But right now, he has more, responsibility on his shoulder. He is very mature, very skillful on the ball as well. The fact that he has grown as a man, and he's only, 21, 22-year-old. This guy has been amazing. And I'm happy that, we're sticking with Martinelli on the left-hand side at the moment. And then later on, even though I got a little bit frustrated at him multiple times, every time when he drive down the left-hand side, I felt like, he could have probably released the ball a little bit earlier, trying to make for a cross. It doesn't matter, who you hit, as long you put the ball right back into the danger area in the opposition box. And I think that is something that he still needs to work on. It's just the fact that the timing of putting the ball into the box, the fact that we usually, overcrowding the opposition penalty box. We have Odegaard, Saka, Jesus, or even Xhaka in that area as well. That is something that he has to work on, but otherwise he has been phenomenal so far this season. And I just can't wait for him to, break that record. Later on, nothing much had happened. Of course, Jesus missed a couple of sitters as well. I don't remember the specific at all. All I remember is just like the some sort of specific. But again, we just couldn't really get anything going. We barely get any attempts. But I felt like, there's so many moments where we could probably take a shot. But instead, we kind of took, play safe in a way, keep possession, not being very adventurous in terms of taking a shot. Southampton arguably has more shots on target compared to Arsenal, but that was about it in the first half. And we have that moment in the second half. By the end of the first half, Ben White, with a header, skims it, trying to lob it over the goalkeeper, but Alcaraz was right there to clear the ball. And that was it. That was the first half. Again, it just kind of died down a little bit in the middle and towards the end. And again, this is the importance of having team talk in a game like this. To be a champion, we got to be able to overcome whatever we're doing. But again, another talking point in the first half was pretty much Zinchenko after Southampton scoring the second goal. Seems like everybody was down. We didn't have that natural leadership. I wish Xhaka was there today. The insane the insane leadership that he has, technical ability that he has could certainly help Arsenal in today's game. Fabio Vieira, I don't think he has a bad game at all, but I know this is not his season. Eventually, this is the first season for him, and it's a big adjustment and adaptation from the Portuguese league to a more intense, fast-paced game or league like Premier League. So I don't understand how the internet or how Twitter, how fans were, kind of criticizing his game. It's just really tough, to be honest. like I said, he's not there yet, and it's fine. I mean, it takes time for a player to adapt into the role. He doesn't play a lot of minutes recently, and you don't expect him to suddenly to have like one of his greatest game in the Arsenal uniform. I don't blame him at all. It's just that he doesn't quite perform. And that's fine. We have plenty of options on the bench. And Zinchenko, again, it was just a weird scene where he was kind of, roaring the crowd, the team, but nobody was listening to him. It was such a frustrating scene to look at. When you look at it, like, if we have Shaka and everything, we will be more calm in that situation, but we just didn't have that Shaka presence, and it shows how important he is in the team. Even though ability wise, playing as number 8, he doesn't have everything, but in terms of defensively, technically, he has everything. Granit Xhaka. So hopefully his illness is going to be like a short-term thing. Hopefully he will be back against City. Second half, again, we are, pretty much we just keep attacking at this point, right? I mean, there's no other way. I mean, we have to win this game in any way possible, creating a couple of chances, but until the 68th minute, well, we finally have Trossard playing as a number 8. Pretty much he can play, 4 positions in the starting 11. He can play as a central forward, wide wingers, and also as a number 8. And it looks like he has more of an influential play compared to Fabio Vieira for sure. And unfortunately, in the 68th minute, it was a corner kick. I remember before the corner kick was taken, I told myself I hate corner kicks, man. I really do hate corner kicks. But the fact that it was the build up before to that corner kick, we lost possession very easily in our own half. Partey, I don't know what he was doing. Certainly he was not having the greatest game. Another poor performance by him. I don't know what he was doing, but he just lost the ball. And corner comes in, and we we just didn't mark our man in the back. And just like that, 3-1, you thought, okay, you know what? That's the end. We're not going to win this game. We're not gonna tie this game in any way possible. I just don't think so. I just didn't have to believe in our team. And later on, with 20 minutes to chase, I was so close turning off the TV, to be honest. But right now, you can see Arteta was doing some madness to the starting 11. You take away Zinchenko, you put in Reece Nelson. He took away, who else? He took away Martinelli to put on Nketiah. Try to overhaul the back line of Southampton, and we did that. We keep pushing and pushing and pushing. We did very well, to be honest, but then that's a little bit too late, isn't it? I mean, we keep creating chances. There's a moment where Martinelli, crosses in the middle to Jesus, but it's just his finishing in this game was a little bit quite poor, to be honest. I mean, in a title race like this, you need a striker who is able to score goals like that. And I remember there's like a couple scrambles in the middle, couldn't really get a touch to it. I mean, the whole game was chaotic, super messy, especially in the opposition half. It's just a lot of stuff going on in the box, to be honest. I can't even remember a specific moment where we almost score. And then 87 minutes comes in. Odegaard, great finish right there. Just playing simple 1-2 between himself and Ben White. And Odegaard, has been quite quiet throughout the whole game, but that was a very, very good shot from him. And just like that, we are kind of back into the game. But the fact that we know Southampton has been wasting a lot of minutes in the game. And I heard about the commentary saying that they are adding 8 extra minutes, and I think that was fair. Could have been a little bit longer. I mean, based on how Southampton was playing, I felt like, they were clearly wasting their time on the pitch. They keep saying that they have cramps and everything, and they did all the treatment within the pitch, and that's frustrating. I mean, we start to get our momentum going, and all of a sudden they just sat down on the pitch and just kind of fixing the time whatsoever. But in the 89th minute, Trossard makes a difference. Nelson makes a difference as well. And Bukayo Saka. Even though he missed his last penalty in the last game, I don't blame him. It happens to every single major player. And it happens to the best of us, to be honest. Even to Messi, Ronaldo, missing a penalty like that, it's fine, but it's all about how you redeem yourself. But that pass from Trossard, I don't know if he meant to nutmeg James Ward-Prowse in that situation. Jesus laid it off to Nelson. First time finish. Good save by the goalkeeper. And the scrambles in the middle once again, throwing bodies in the middle. And Nketiah trying to go for the rebound. But Bukayo Saka was right there at the right time. I think it was Salisu or Bella Kochap slip right in front of Saka, and clever finish by Saka as well. I think in between the legs of Bella Kochap. And we have tied the game just like that with 8 more minutes to go. Honestly, 8 more minutes. There were certainly a lot of time behind it to make a comeback. And you thought, Jesus Christ, everything was just out of nowhere. And the game felt alive. The crowd went alive as well. I saw quite a lot of Arsenal fans heading for the exit. After conceding the third goal, you thought, oh my God, like we might be winning the game. I mean, who would have thought, to be honest? And you thought, okay, we're pretty much putting everybody forward. It's still in our hand. 8 minutes in at the Emirates, the crowd were roaring. The players start to, they have their spirit back. And then that's one moment when Trossard was skipping everybody in the middle, right outside of the box, and he hits the bar. That would have been some sort of could have been one of the best goals that we score. Imagine losing to Southampton 3-1 with 20 minutes to play, and 25 minutes later, including extra time, we score a winner, making a 4-3 comeback. That would be sweet, but we were very close. Trossard hits the bar, and then of course this is the moment where I got super upset. We still have 3 more minutes to play, and suddenly I paid for the subscription called Fubo TV. And of course, we have to criticize your streaming service is the only streaming service here in Canada, and they can't even do a simple job just to keep their, the streaming service alive. The streaming service got cut 3 minutes before the ending time. We still have 3 more minutes to play, and that was the most intense game that I've seen in my whole freaking life. The streaming service got cut. I got super upset. It's literally the most important 3 minutes of my life there. And the streaming service got cut. It went blacked out. I don't know what happened. I try to go on Twitter and see the result. Nothing happened. Nothing fresh coming up. I keep reloading the streaming service. The app doesn't work as well. And then all I'm seeing is that, oh, Thomas Partey, you should go to jail, blah, blah, blah. Thomas Partey, you're such a disgrace. And I was like, what did we do? What did he do? Right? I thought, oh, we conceded a goal because Thomas Partey may probably slipped up or something like that in important moments like that. And turns out I was reading it. And I didn't know what happened. But when I keep refreshing the game again, I think by the time I go back to the streaming service, the game just blew the whistle. We end the 3-3 again. That's the most anticlimactic last 3 minutes of my life there. So I have to go back to 95th minutes to see what happened. Turns out Thomas Partey. We have everything. We have the possession. Southampton was playing so deep at this point. Thomas Partey decided to go for a 40-yard attempt. What the hell he was thinking? In a game like this, why would you start to lose possession like that? Why would you decide to throw the game like that? I'm not saying that his, the fact that he tried to make an attempt in that distance cost us the game. That's just not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying it's that we have a great opportunity at the moment. We are keeping the ball. We have been very lethal in terms of throwing the ball in the middle, crossing the ball in the middle, let it ricochet around, the penalty box. Hopefully find somebody who is free in the box and puts that one in. That's what we've been trying to do. You can probably see that's what Arteta has been instructing the players to do. Whip it in, whip it in, whip it in. Because we get the ball anyway. And Southampton has been, quite struggling with that, to be honest. And the fact that Thomas Partey decided to skies that one horribly, I don't know what to say. I mean, that was absolutely a disgrace in a game like this. You decide to pull a stunt like that. Well, if he hits the target, shot on target or goes out for a corner, at least that was good. That worth a shot. But it wasn't, which gives them time to, reset again. Again, we have another chance in the last minute, literally last 30 seconds. We lopped the ball in. Ben White lopped the ball and scrambled in the middle. Gabriel Jesus got taken out from behind. And no penalty at all. Wasn't checked. Wasn't even talked about amongst the referee. It was frustrating. It looks like there was a foul, but again, I have been saying this a lot of times. I don't want us to win games just because of a penalty and stuff like that. Of course, it would be great if we buries that one in, but my question was, how did we concede the first 2 goals in the first place, right? I mean, if we didn't concede the first 2 goals in the first place, we wouldn't have to rely on the penalty to score that goal. Again, penalty is a gift. I'm not, as an Arsenal fan, I know as a football fan, penalty is part of the game, but we cannot always rely on penalty kicks to win games. I mean, certainly there are times we need that, but why? We have to go back to the roots of the problem, which is our defense today. And that's the game 3-3. One of the most entertaining games for sure, but the fact that it has scuffed Arsenal's hope to a title race, that was very damaging to heart. And after that game, I'm sure that was pretty much the end of it. And losing to Man City on Wednesday away at the Etihad, if we lose that game, that's pretty much the nailing the nail on the coffin. So, I mean, it's just so stupid in the end, right? I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans have been infesting a lot of their emotion into the game, and in the end, we just got nothing. But at the same time, I think some of the Arsenal fans were overreacting, especially troops, the AFTV community, league gunners, just those numbskull, those bastards. They were the people that are bringing the fan base down, bringing the players down. I mean, we still have a tiny bit of hope right now. And why is this the perfect time for them to start to abuse the players, start to criticize in a very negative way against the players? Again, when you look back, we were never meant to win the Premier League this season. It was a surprise this season where we were in the top of the league table for that long. We all know that our objective from day one of this new season is to be in the top 4. But right now, we are pretty much in the top 4. And that game marks St. Tottenham's Day, where we finish on top. Mathematically, we finish on top of Spurs, first time in 6-7 years, and we are likely to, very likely to be in the Champions League next season. But this is what I'm saying. Right now the fan base are just killing the Arsenal team. I mean, I wish I have more to say about this issue, but right now we have to go to Etihad on Wednesday away to beat. We have to win against City. Otherwise, we're not going to win. I'm saying it because if they win, they're only 2 points away from us and they have 2 games in hand. And what's the possibility of Man City slipping in that moment? Very, very slim, very, very little. And after the game, I mean, it shows how it turns out it was Saliba all along, right? We thought, we were one injury away from crumbling from the title race. Partey was out for a month. We were fine. Who else? Zinchenko was out for significant, weeks. We were fine. Who else? Jesus was out for 3 months. We were fine too. But when Saliba went down, and this is what we're seeing, right? I mean, we have that little bit of a honeymoon period with Rob Holding in the first 2 games against Crystal Palace and Leeds United. And you thought, oh, Rob Holding is doing a nice job. But then when Liverpool, when we play against Liverpool, West Ham and everything, I'm not saying Rob Holding was directly at fault to everything that we have been, building up to. But certainly without Saliba in the lineup has cost Arsenal in a lot of ways. He is very calm on the ball, good composure. At the same time, his progressiveness on the ball as well, which makes us very, very good as well. His positioning and everything. Saliba, I think in the end, it was Saliba all along. He was the player that we cannot be missing. And that's exactly how it happened. And right now, we have to stick with Rob Holding. I don't know I'm sure Saliba is not going to be featured until, the last 2-3 games of the season. Or at the moment, we're fearing the worst that we might not be seeing Saliba again in this season. And I'm sure our title race has it's gone at the moment. I'm sorry I have to say it. But you know what? I think for the past 2 days, I've been recovered from today's result. And right now, I kind of come to an acceptance of, we're not going to win the league. We have so much hope for the team, but in the end, we just couldn't. Man City, it's certainly a much better team than us. And in crucial moments like this, in the past 3 games, we just couldn't deliver. We just can't deliver the results, then so be it, right? I mean, we're still 10 games unbeaten. That's the positive of it. But the last 3 games, we could clearly have won the games, and we could have been 11 points ahead with City 2 games in hand, which put us in a very good position as well. But right now, I just don't see us winning the league anymore. So thank you guys for listening to this podcast. Hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to like this podcast, video, whatever it is, in any form. And hopefully we're going to get a result against Man City. Like I said, if we win against Man City, I'll be posting on a Wednesday. If we draw, I think I'll be posting on a Wednesday as well. But if we lose to Man City, I'll see you guys next week around this time as well. So thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoy it. Smash the like button. Share your podcast to everybody that you know of. And I'll see you guys in a bit.